to our hearing impaired audience. You can watch our bulletin live on DSTV channel 278 at www.gbcghanaonline.com or on our Facebook page. Final year students in public and private universities across the country started returning to campus today, June 15, 2020. With the partial reopening as announced by the government, final year university students will resume lectures ahead of their exit exams. For many tertiary institutions, provisions are in place for students who want to come to campus while the institutions continue their virtual platform programs.
The government over the weekend made available personal protective equipment and logistics to 234 tertiary institutions dotted across the country. In terms of specific logistics, everybody is getting 3 face masks free of charge, which are reusable. Again, over 1,700 vinegar buckets, over 200,200 ml units of hand sanitizers, and over 3,400 buckets of soap and other 3,400 packets of tissue are being distributed. About 900 thermometers are also being distributed to these schools in addition to the disinfection and other exercises that are going on there, he added.
And final year students of the University for Development Studies started arriving on campus today.
Correspondent Murtala Issa visited the Tamale campus of the UDS in Tamale and reports that the university is strictly enforcing the no mask, no entry policy.
So this is the main entrance to the University for Development Studies UDS Tamale campus. As you can see, security men are here and they are enforcing strictly the protocols for COVID-19. That includes wearing a face mask, and your temperature is also taken to ensure that you are within the healthy range before you are allowed into campus. A while ago, some persons were turned away before we started rolling our camera. They were turned away because they were not in nose mask, and so we are told that the other routes that lead into the university all have security personnel placed there. Authorities here have been telling us that they are very ready and prepared for the beginning of academic work.
We have large lecture rooms on the university campus, all our campuses, and we have small lecture halls too. So what we have decided is that the large lecture rooms that normally will take about 200, 300 students, we have decided that we will put not more than 100 students in those lecture rooms. And those that take 100 students, there are some courses that the final year students do not exceed 50. So a lecture room that takes 100, that's a normal situation. We're not going to put more than 50 in that lecture room.
GBC News has also been speaking with some students on campus to gauge their feeling as they resume and prepare for academic work.
People will come from Accra, Kumasi and other places that we know that the disease is getting high there, and they will just come without being tested, and then we'll have to live with them on campus, which I think even those measures they kept on place might not be able to stop them from spreading the disease. So I think if there would be a way where we would get tested before coming back on campus, that would have been a very good thing.
There are a lot of measures put in place. Wash your hands. They will take you through the checking. They will check your temperature, and then they will give you the sanitizer. When you come inside, you will make sure that you're wearing the face mask, and all the protections has been taken place. So we are very, very safe. And as you can see, there's no need to mention that this disease is very deadly. So we are all very cautious about it.
The problem right now is not the situation we have on campus. As you can see, there is strict adherence to the protocols. However, just outside of campus, the students will need to use commercial vehicles, tricycles mostly, to the commercial center of Tamale to buy certain consumables. Unfortunately, that is where I fear there might be a problem, because most of these vehicles plying the UDS junction to Tamale are not adhering to any of the COVID-19 protocols. They are not wearing nose masks, they are overloading, and this is where there is danger. And hopefully the students here will be able to protect themselves, stay vigilant whilst in town to prevent contracting the disease and bringing it onto campus. Mutala Isa for GBC News.
To the Central Region now, the College of Distance Education at the University of Cape Coast has put all measures in place to ensure the safety and well-being of students, lecturers and all workers as academic work starts.
Now, ahead of arrival, waste management company Zoom Lion Ghana has fumigated and disinfected the university.
Zoom Lion Ghana partnered the Ministry of Education to decontaminate all schools, colleges and universities in the region ahead of arrivals of students. The latest exercise in the region took place at the Ejumako campus of the University of Education, Winneba. Lecture theatres, offices and the campuses were fumigated. Next was the University of Cape Coast. The lecture theatres, libraries and the entire campus were disinfected. The exercise ended at the College of Distance Education building. The provost of the College of Distance Education said the university has also made further arrangements to secure the safety and welfare of both students and workers.
Yes, yesterday the university took delivery of 75 thermometers for infrared thermometers for finding, testing students and staff whether they are safe to come into buildings. We are providing Veronica buckets with detergents for washing hands, sanitizers and all those things. And we've advised the Vice Chancellor asked that colleges, faculties and departments should provide face masks for their staff. So we have done that, and that is supposed to ensure that they are safe. So when students come, we are going to ensure that they wear face masks, they go through the WHO protocols to ensure that everybody is safe, so that we don't unnecessarily spread the virus.
The Director of Communication and Corporate Affairs at Zoom Lion Ghana, Madam Emma Echabwachi, encouraged all to adhere to the health protocols and the social distancing directive whilst on campus to stay safe. Zoom Lion also fumigated and disinfected the studios, offices and the premises of GBC Radio Central in Cape Coast.
The Western Regional Minister, Mr. Kobina Ochiri-Darko Mensah, is asking the Regional House of Chiefs to support the enforcement agencies in the fight against the coronavirus in the region.
Recent reports from the Western Regional Health Directorate shows that the fight against the spread of the coronavirus in the region is getting out of hands despite the safety protocols and guidelines put in place by the government. Cases of infections have increased exponentially over the past few days as the Sekondi Takoradi Metropolis and the Takwa Nsawam Municipality have been declared hotspots of the COVID-19 pandemic. In the region, with the number of health workers having tested positive, the region's case count is over 90, with 10 recoveries and 1 death. According to the Regional Health Directorate, there are about 4,788 samples pending testing at the various laboratories, including that of the Takoradi COVID-19 test facility at the Veterinary Service Department. The situation has propelled the regional minister, Mr. Kobina Ochiri-Darko, to call on all the chiefs in the region in the fight against the spread of the disease.
From a lone case of this virus recorded on Sunday, 12 April 2020, the Western region as of today, Thursday, 11 June 2020, has 902 positive cases, attributed largely to community spread. So they are not import from other places, either in America or Accra or Kumasi. This one, it is spreading amongst ourselves. Throughout the Wasa and Menfi East and Wasa and Menfi Central District, I have not recorded any case. The Sekedita Kadi Metropolis and the Tapa Israel Municipality have 303 and 314 cases respectively standing in their names. It must be observed by those communities.
The president of the Western Regional House of Chiefs, Ojiahoho Iaujebi, called on the chiefs to continue to support the COVID task force in their traditional areas in their efforts to contain the spread of the disease.
There is hope, since our recovery rate is at a faster pace. We congratulate the government, frontline health workers, national security officers, journalists, and everyone involved in the fight against COVID-19. I will therefore entreat each and every one to help fight COVID-19 by observing the directives given by our authorities.
The Amahine of Insai, Awulai Ajefi Kwame, appealed to the government to involve them in decision-making processes in road construction. This, according to him, will help the chiefs to be abreast with information regarding the awarding of contracts. The Amahine of Upper Discob, Obrepon Hemadechi, was not happy about the way some DCEs are going about the fight against the spread of the COVID-19. Meanwhile, the regional minister, Mr. Kobina Ochridaku Mensah, has tasked the media, the NCCE and the COVID task force to continue educating the people about the fight against the spread of the pandemic.
To the northern region, where engineers on the 660-meter Tamale interchange are hopeful to complete the project within the stipulated 30 months.
The Minister for Roads and Highways, Mr. Kwesi Amakwata, has inspected progress of work and commended the engineers for quality and speed of work.
In April 2019, President Akufo-Addo cut the sword for the construction of the Tamale interchange. The project is the first of its kind in the northern part of the country, with funding from Sino-Hydro Corporation of China. It forms part of a $2 billion agreement with Ghana for various infrastructure projects, particularly in the road sector. The $500 million project is to address congestion in the central parts of the northern regional capital and to improve on economic development in the sub-region. The project is scheduled for completion within 30 months. The resident engineer, Mr. Emmanuel Dogbache, said out of the 18 piers earmarked for construction, 6 are completed and 10 are scheduled for completion by close of this month. The Roads and Highways Minister, Mr. Kwesi Amakwata, on an inspection in the northern region, expressed satisfaction at the progress of work.
We are even ahead of schedule, at least from engineering technical point of view. As at now, we are even ahead of schedule by almost a month. It tells you that the work is progressing very well.
He commended the people of Tamale for their cooperation and urged them to continue to cooperate to ensure the completion of work on schedule.
I want to respectfully urge them, the drivers, the people, to continue, because this facility is not only for Tamale, even though it's located here. It's a facility not for Tamale, not for even Northern region. It's for Ghana.
The minister also inspected some drains under construction in Tamale. Construction of the drains, when completed, will reduce the perennial flooding in some parts of the metropolis, while the road networks will link more communities to the central business district.
In the Upper West, 78 road projects are currently being executed simultaneously in all the 11 municipal and district assemblies in the region.
The government says this forms part of efforts to open up that part of the country to step up economic development.
The government declared 2020 as a year of roads. Since then, it is keeping to this pledge by ensuring the repair and completion of many road projects across the country. In the Upper West region, this includes rehabilitation of roads in the Laura municipality, the tarring of the Nandom-Hamile Road, and the construction of bridges. The Roads and Highways Minister, Mr. Kwesi Amoakwanta, accompanied by the Regional Minister, Dr. Hafiz bin Salih, inspected work in progress. At Tamale, where PW Ghanem is working on the highway linking Burkina Faso, the Sector Minister, Mr. Amoakwanta, was happy with the work done so far. The Upper West Regional Manager of the Ghana Highway Authority, Mr. Thomas Opong, said work on Lot 8 of the Nadoli-Laura Hamili Road is 98% complete.
Whatever is left is the road safety appurtenances. That's the road line marking and the road signs, which is about 0.2%.
Mr. Amoakwanta said government is determined to keep to its promise of declaring 2020 as a year of roads. He said these projects are going on simultaneously in all municipalities and districts in the region.
In terms of projects, Ghana Highway Authority is handling 21 different projects in this region. Department of Feeder Roads is handling 42 different projects in this region, and Department of Urban Roads handling 15 different projects, totaling 78 projects.
Basically, the targets we had for the 2020 were not significantly different from those of 2019. So, for instance, GDP growth, we were targeting 6.8. We're also looking at the possibility of having an inflation of around 8%, a fiscal deficit of 4.7. We're also seeking to get a primary balance of nearly 0.7. And these were much like those that we planned for in 2019. A lot of the activities happened in the last quarter of the year. So although we know that things have not gone so well, we still believe that at the end of the year, things could pick up and we could collect more. Nevertheless, there are indications that we might not get so much. The fact that we have revised our GDP growth means that there will be less money coming out of the economy to help us collect so much. The jobs that we already have, we are likely to lose some. And mind you, today occupancy in hotels has come down from 70% to barely 20 to 30%. So all those jobs will be lost. And in many areas, jobs are going to be lost. But there is an opportunity for jobs to be created in other sectors. And these are the IT, where today I'm talking to you online because in your opinion and mine, it's not a good thing for me to be mingling. So a lot of the things that we do physically has been moved to the internet. So those areas would likely create jobs. And we are also producing medicines, nose masks, etc. to deal with the diseases. So that area can also create some jobs. But the traditional jobs we have, we are likely to lose some.
Now to the Central Region, where management of the National Board for Small-Scale Industries, NBSSI, has met with small and medium-scale enterprise operators at Cape Coast to support them on how to apply for the 1 billion cedi coronavirus alleviation business support scheme. 1 billion cedis has been set aside by the government to support SMEs across the country. The scheme forms part of government's coronavirus alleviation program intended to provide support to SMEs which have been impacted negatively by the COVID-19 pandemic. 200,000 applications have been received as at the end of the first week of June 2020. According to the National Board for Small-Scale Industries, NBSSI, though the Central Region is the second highest so far with regards to the number of applications to the scheme, it is still important to meet with them to address challenges some may be facing in the application process. The NBSSI, in collaboration with the Ministry of Finance and other collaborating IT firms, have put in place several measures to ensure accessibility of the fund. However, more than 80% of the SMEs in Ghana fall within the informal sector and would require some support to fill out the online application forms. During an interaction with SMEs at the Kotokraba market in Cape Coast, some of the members of the Association of Small-Scale Industries called on the NBSSI to ensure that there is transparency and fair distribution of the 1 billion cedis.
Binuman ko school na zinti forms na yezo ko online na ye failing ko fu bebre wontu wonye nti so du baby a na social no ro na wa forget there dem za onye biem nti dem challenges na ye wo comedy oba no wa me adwuma na akofam kra ye memesin de bia wo complain nti se government of the dimension ye aba obombo hen me adwuma no we tumpon akosoro.
The executive director of NBSSI, Mrs. Kosi Yankee Aye, said the rationale behind the online registration is to ensure accessibility of the fund to all eligible candidates without compromising on the transparency of the process.
The response has been good. For a lot of people, they felt like no, it wasn't meant for them. And for them, they were also bringing up issues they had if they could go online or go offline. And I think this engagement has given us the opportunity to share with them the importance of them applying, and also highlighting the fact that in all our assessments, the Central Region has the second largest applications coming onto the platform.
Per data released from the CAPBA's online portal through a statement issued by NBSSI, Ashanti Region has recorded the highest applicants of about 48,620, representing 28.6% of total applications. This was followed by Central Region with 13%, Greater Accra 12%, Eastern Region 11.5%, Bono, Western, Northern, Volta, Bono East, Western North, Ahafo, Upper East, Upper West, Savannah, Oti and Northeast. And now you're watching the business segment of News Hour live on GBC News. Moving on the interbank markets, the US dollar is trading at 5 cedi 65 pesos and the pound sterling at 7 cedi 7 pesos against the local currency. The